Good evening, welcome to Area Shores Prepping. I'm your host, Greg. Would you please indulge me for a few minutes while I read you something that I think is very relevant to your prepping and to what's going on in this country now? These are the times that try men's souls. The summer soldier and the sunshine patriot will, in this crisis, shrink from the service of their country. But he that stands it now deserves the love and thanks of man and woman. Tyranny, like hell, is not easily conquered, yet we have this consolation with us, that the harder the conflict, the more glorious the triumph. What we obtain too cheap, we esteem too lightly. It is in the dearness that gives everything its value. Heaven knows how to put a proper price upon its goods, and it would be strange indeed if so celestial article as freedom should not be highly rated. And that was courtesy of Mr. Thomas Paine. And if you give me just one more second, you will never know how much it has cost my generation to preserve your freedom. I hope you will make good use of it. And that was John Adams. All these men fought for our freedom in the Revolutionary Wars and afterwards. Some became presidents, some became politicians. But all these men now have had their statues torn down by the woke left, by the people that do not appreciate the very freedoms these men fought and died for. Every one of these men have had their statues torn down, thrown paint on, defaced in some way. Is this how we use our freedom? My uncles and my father fought in World War II. Fortunately, some made it back okay. My one father contracted a disease from the South Pacific Islands. Is this what they sacrificed for? To watch this government allow the Constitution to be trampled on by setting up ministries of truth, by saying, big tech, censor these people because we don't like their opinion? Is that what these men fought and died for? Is this what my ancestors fought in the Civil War for? Is that what they fought for you? Is that what your ancestors fought for? We need to stand up. We need to speak out. We see these people marching in the streets, burning down our cities, telling us where we can vote, when we can vote, how we can vote, and not even count the vote. They rob us of our First Amendment through censorship, big tech's colluding with the government. That's been time proven. Twitter, fake accounts, but all posting what the government wants them to say. Is that what our ancestors fought and died for? To watch their statues toppled to the ground or relocated? The school changing their name because they're ashamed of it? They didn't fight. They didn't live to have this country go down in ruins like this, to have school teachers telling our children what is actual history, what is make-believe, teaching them to hate, teaching them saying, well, you really weren't born a boy or a girl and you have doubts, so let's change your gender to the way you feel. That's not their job. That's not what this is about. For the people that come in this country to rob us of what we have worked so hard for, what we have built here in America, to have it flooded by people who don't speak our language, don't hold our values, and do not care. This is not what these people died for. This is not what they wrote the Constitution for. So when you say, oh, well, it's not my fight, and then you watch your rights erode away, saying, oh, I can't carry a gun unless I have 10,000 different types of permits and take a psychological test, and then maybe the government will allow me my right. Or when they say you can't worship in your church because they are white supremacists and they teach the gospel, which is anti-gay, homophobic, anti-transgender, anti-alphabet, whatever it is, the word choice it is today. That's not what they fought and died for. That's not what they built America for. These people would be ashamed of us. Every one of our ancestors that are crying out now, yelling, I'm ashamed of you. You have no spirit. You have no backbone to stand up what we sacrificed for. You see a lot of us on here saying, well, we got to save for this. We got to prepare for that. You got to get prepared to defend your home against Antifa, against BLM, against people who want to kill unborn children. We have to defend it against our neighbors who have been arrested 30 times, but because the liberal judges say, oh no, that would be racist to lock you up. This world's turned upside down, and our ancestors are turning over in the grave saying, why did we even put forth the effort? The thought of freedom, the thought of a constitution. I don't know. People need to take a stance. You need to say, I will no longer tolerate it. And any politician, any woke person that says you don't have the right granted to us in the Constitution by God needs a wake-up call. They need to be removed from office, removed from your church, or wherever it is, your city council, your school board. We need to wake up and take a stand. It's already close to too late. I want to thank you for your time, for allowing me to read that for you. I hope it gets things stirred up to where you say, I'm sick and tired of having to be on the defensive because of the incompetence of this administration and all the politicians who lie to our faces and say, well, this is Russia's fault. This is Trump's fault. This is Bush's fault. This is your fault. That's nonsense. Anybody that spews that garbage, you get right back in their face. Thank you for liking and subscribing to Erie Shores Prepping. Get yourself right with God. Get baptized in the name of Jesus Christ. Greg out.